The Buffalo Bills came into Sunday's matchup as heavy favorites, an 11-point spread that screamed easy work. Everyone expected Josh Allen and his crew to cruise past the Cleveland Browns in a dull blowout. But halfway through this crazy game, something unreal is happening that's got the entire internet going wild. Shedeur Sanders, the rookie quarterback who's been doubted, criticized, and thrown under the bus by his own coaches all season while battling behind one of the worst offensive lines in the league, is flipping the whole narrative. He's not just holding his own against one of the NFL's biggest stars, he's outplaying him. Through 30 minutes of playoff-level football, Shedeur looks calm, locked in, and absolutely fearless. This is your live halftime breakdown, packed with stats, momentum swings, and the viral moments lighting up social media right now. People everywhere are glued to their screens asking, what is happening in Cleveland? At halftime, Shedeur Sanders trails the Bills by just 10 points. But here's the shocker. He's out-throwing Josh Allen in nearly every key stat. Completion rate, yardage, poise under pressure. Shedeur's got the edge. He's commanding the field like a seasoned vet, not a rookie fighting for respect. We're breaking down exactly why this performance matters so much, what's changed since that disaster against Chicago, and how this game is turning into a viral moment for the ages. Shedeur Sanders is proving he belongs on this stage, no matter what the critics keep saying. Let's set the stage right away because the numbers at halftime are telling a story nobody saw coming. The Buffalo Bills lead 20-10 at the break, which on paper looks like they're in full control. But anyone actually watching knows that scoreboard is lying. Cleveland has been right in this fight, playing with serious grit, and Shedeur Sanders has been putting on a show under insane pressure against one of the league's toughest defenses. The Browns have been locked in, playing clean, disciplined football on both sides of the ball. They're moving the chains, creating big plays through the air, and keeping Buffalo's explosive offense from taking over. Sure, James Cook has found some space on the ground, but overall, Cleveland's keeping things way closer than the score suggests. Now, here's where things get straight up wild, and where social media started losing it. Josh Allen, the MVP caliber superstar who was supposed to tear Cleveland apart, has managed only 86 passing yards through the entire first half. 86. Meanwhile, Shedeur Sanders, the rookie everyone said wasn't ready, the guy constantly blamed for the offense's struggles, and the one stuck behind a shaky offensive line, has already thrown for 103 yards and a touchdown, and get this, he did it even after briefly leaving the game with a finger injury that had fans and teammates holding their breath. That's heart, that's toughness, and that's leadership on full display. Let that stat line sink in for a second. Through 30 minutes of football, the rookie is outgaining the Pro Bowl veteran by 17 yards. Shedeur's been sharper, more efficient, and way more composed than Josh Allen so far. No exaggeration, no stat manipulation. That's the cold truth of what's happening right now. And it's lighting up social media with the kind of buzz Shedeur's talent has always deserved, but rarely got, thanks to team chaos and unfair media takes. Now let's talk about the one blemish on Shedeur's stat line, because context really matters here. The box score might say he threw an interception in the first half, and of course, critics will jump all over that. They'll say, see, rookie mistake, without even knowing what actually happened, but anyone who watched that play knows the truth. It wasn't on Shedeur in any real way. Yeah, the pass was a touch behind Quinshon Judkins, sure, but it was totally catchable. The ball hit Judkins right on the shoulder pads and bounced off when he didn't secure it. That's a catch NFL running backs make 9 times out of 10 easy. You could see Shedeur's reaction right after. Frustrated but composed because he knew it wasn't a bad decision, just bad luck. Was it a perfect throw? Not quite. Could he have led Judkins a little better so he could catch it in stride? Absolutely. But was it anywhere close to being a terrible pass? Not even close. That ball made solid contact. It hit the receiver's body and should have been caught cleanly instead of deflecting into a defender's hands. Blaming Shedeur for that pick is like blaming a pitcher. When the first baseman drops an easy catch, it just doesn't make sense. The mistake wasn't on the quarterback, it was on the execution by the receiver. But of course, the stat sheet doesn't tell the full story, and casual fans will look at that interception and think he's struggling when, in reality, it was a drop pass, not a bad read or wild throw. Even with that unlucky turnover that wasn't really his fault, Shedeur has shown exactly what Cleveland fans have been desperate to see. Sharp accuracy, smart decision-making, composure under pressure, and the confidence to push the ball downfield. When the scheme actually gives him a shot, he delivers explosive plays that remind everyone why this rookie's got real potential. Here's what's really got everyone fired up about this first half performance, because this isn't just about stats, it's about growth. The play calling has finally taken a massive step forward compared to that embarrassing mess against Chicago last week. Tommy Rees seems to have finally figured it out, or maybe was forced to admit that the offense has to play to Shedeur's strengths. Now, we're seeing smart adjustments, getting Shedeur out of the pocket on designed rollouts, dialing up quick timing routes, and mixing in screen passes that get the ball out of his hands fast. All of these tweaks are helping this young quarterback build rhythm, stay confident, and keep the offense in sync instead of hanging him out to dry with those long developing dropbacks behind shaky protection. Those quick outs and screens have been crucial. They've helped Shedeur find his rhythm early and stay locked in all half long. Instead of being asked to hold the ball for 3 or 4 seconds while the pocket caves in, he's now reading, reacting, and firing in rhythm. The entire offense looks smoother, faster, and way more confident. Reese is finally calling plays that fit Shedeur's natural game. His lightning-quick release, pinpoint accuracy on short and mid-range throws, and that smooth ability to throw receivers open with timing and touch. These are the kind of plays that should have been the foundation of this offense from week 1. It's honestly wild that it took this long for the coaching staff to figure that out. And you can see the difference in Shedeur's pocket presence and decision-making too. It's night and day from last week. When the protection starts breaking down, he's not panicking or running backward. He's sliding, stepping up, and maneuvering in the pocket like a vet. He's keeping his eyes downfield, refusing to let pressure rattle him, showing off that toughness and football IQ that real franchise quarterbacks are built on. What's even more impressive, he's taking what the defense gives him instead of forcing deep shots into tight coverage. That's patience, that's maturity, and that's growth. It's the kind of evolution that usually takes rookies a whole season or longer to develop. But Shedeur is showing it right now in real time against one of the best defenses in the league. Now let's talk about the moment that had everyone's heart stopping in the second quarter, Shedeur's finger injury. You could see it happen clear as day. He took a hit or maybe jammed his pinky awkwardly on a throw, and right after, he was shaking his hand, wincing, and clearly in pain on the sideline. For a few tense minutes, the entire stadium went silent. Fans were holding their breath, thinking, not again. It looked like he might not come back, and Browns fans everywhere were having flashbacks to the endless stream of injuries that's wrecked this season. But Shedeur being Shedeur, tough, gritty, and built different, wasn't about to sit out. He got that finger taped up, powered through the pain, and got right back out there to finish the half without missing a beat. That kind of toughness says everything about who he is, and let's be real, that matters a lot. Especially for a rookie trying to earn respect in the locker room. Anyone can look good when everything's perfect, but real quarterbacks prove themselves when things hurt, when the pocket's collapsing, and when excuses are easy to make. Shedeur didn't flinch. He pushed through, stayed composed, and kept the offense moving. That's leadership, plain and simple. By coming back out and still executing at a high level, Shedeur sent a powerful message to his team. He's not just talented, he's a fighter. That mentality gets noticed by teammates, coaches, and everyone in the building. It's how you earn trust and solidify yourself as the guy in that huddle. Now, on the other side of the ball, Cleveland's defense has one big problem they've got to fix in the second half: the run game. James Cook has been tearing them apart, finding huge holes and ripping off explosive runs all afternoon. The Browns are getting gashed for chunk plays that keep Buffalo in rhythm and help them control the tempo and the clock. If Cleveland keeps letting the Bills dominate on the ground like that, it's going to open up their whole playbook and make life way harder for the defense. They've got to tighten up those running lanes fast, or all of Shedeur's hard work might go to waste. Because when a team can run the ball the way Buffalo is right now, the defense has no choice but to respect it. They can't just pin their ears back and attack the quarterback or sit comfortably in coverage. Cleveland's defensive front has to step up, win those one-on-one battles, and start forcing the Bills into clear passing situations, because that's when they can unleash the pass rush and make Josh Allen sweat in the pocket. If the second half keeps rolling like the first, James Cook running wild, breaking tackles, and eating up clock, Buffalo's going to pull away sooner or later. Even if Shedeur keeps balling out, time of possession and field position will start tilting too far in the Bills' favor. That's how teams like Buffalo quietly close games. They wear you down and control the tempo. But here's the twist that's got Cleveland fans genuinely fired up right now. This Browns offense finally looks alive. For the first time in weeks, they look like a real functioning unit. They're moving the chains, sustaining drives, converting third downs, and getting into scoring range over and over again. And that's not luck. That's smart play calling that actually fits Shedeur's strengths instead of setting him up to fail. You can see the difference on every drive. The rhythm, the confidence, the balance. It all comes from putting Shedeur in situations where he can make quick reads and trust his instincts. This version of the offense looks competent, confident, and dangerous. Now, if the defense can rise to the challenge, get a couple of key stops, maybe force a turnover or two, and give Shedeur a short field to work with, Cleveland's got a real shot to shock everyone today. The Bills might be the favorites, but this Browns team is fighting like they didn't get that memo. And this is exactly the kind of game Shedeur Sanders needed to silence the doubters and remind the football world why he was so hyped coming out of Colorado. The scouts who actually watched his tape saw it. Real franchise quarterback potential. This performance is proving that with patience, smart coaching, and the right support, Shedeur's elite skills can shine no matter the chaos around him. Shedeur Sanders is putting on a clinic out there. Accuracy that's NFL-ready, decision-making that keeps drives alive, and a level of toughness you can't coach. He's showing every single trait that separates real franchise quarterbacks from the rest. These are the building blocks of a legit NFL career, and they're all flashing bright against one of the league's elite defenses. And the internet, it's absolutely exploding. The social media reaction has flipped completely from the negativity after that ugly Chicago game. Now everyone's talking about Shedeur in a whole new light. Twitter's full of clips showing him dropping dimes, analysts comparing his stats side by side with Josh Allen's and realizing he's actually outplaying him. Even some of the biggest football names online are backtracking, admitting they underestimated this kid's talent and readiness. Over on Instagram and TikTok, his highlights are racking up millions of views. Fans can't stop replaying his pinpoint throws, calm pocket movement, and that swagger under pressure. Even national media members who were skeptical before are starting to change their tune, finally admitting what Browns fans have been shouting for weeks. This kid can play. And this kind of viral attention isn't just about hype, it's bigger than that. It changes how people see him, fans, analysts, even the front office. When a young quarterback earns this kind of buzz through performance instead of controversy, it builds real credibility. It forces everyone to take notice and makes it way harder for coaches or execs to sideline him or give up too early. Shedeur is building serious momentum right now, the kind that can change narratives, shift opinions, and reshape the direction of an entire franchise. His performance today isn't just exciting, it's timely. With all the uncertainty swirling around Cleveland's future, this game is reminding everyone that there's something worth believing in here. Now, heading into the second half, the question becomes, can the Browns turn all this energy into one of the biggest upsets of the season? If they keep playing with this fire and Shedeur keeps leading with this kind of poise, we might be watching the start of something special. First things first, Cleveland's got to establish some kind of running game in this second half. They can't let Buffalo's defense pin their ears back and blitz Shedeur every single down. With Quinshon Judkins out after that injury, it's a major blow. He was their most explosive and dependable running back. But whoever steps in now has to deliver something, anything, to make the Bills respect the run threat. If the defense doesn't have to worry about the ground game, they'll drop 8 into coverage and make Shedeur's life miserable. Next up, the offensive line has to keep holding it together like they did in the first half. They weren't perfect. Shedeur still took hits and had defenders breathing down his neck, but they gave him just enough time to make plays and run the offense the way it's designed. That's all he needs, just a chance to read and release. But if that protection collapses in the second half like it has in past games, if Buffalo starts sending free rushers and creating instant chaos in the pocket, even the sharpest play calling won't be enough to save this offense. Shedeur can work magic under pressure, but no quarterback can do it all with defenders in his lap every snap. And finally, this is absolutely crucial. The defense has to shut down Buffalo's run game. James Cook has been carving them up all afternoon, breaking off 6- and 7-yard gains like it's nothing. That's killing the Browns' momentum and giving Buffalo complete control of the clock. Cleveland's defensive front needs to start winning their matchups now. The linebackers have to fill those gaps quicker and with more aggression, and the secondary has to step up with better support on the edges. No more soft tackling or blown contain. This is gut check time. If they can finally slow down Cook and force the Bills into predictable 3rd and long situations, then the pass rush can start to feast. That's when Myles Garrett and company can make Josh Allen uncomfortable, force mistakes, and maybe create that one big turnover Cleveland's been waiting for. This defense doesn't need perfection, they just need stops. If they can deliver that while Shedeur keeps dealing on offense, the Browns might just pull off the kind of upset that'll have the whole league talking. Tommy Rees cannot abandon what's been working so far. This is where coaching discipline and trust in your game plan become everything. Too many offensive coordinators lose their cool when they're trailing at halftime and throw away the strategy that was actually clicking. Instead, they go all in on flashy, risky, deep shots that almost never pay off. That cannot happen here. Rees needs to stick with the formula that's been getting results. Those quick timing throws, the designed rollouts, the screen passes, and the short outlets that help Shedeur find his rhythm. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't panic. And definitely don't start forcing him into long developing deep routes every drive. Keep leaning on what's working and let the playmakers shine inside the system. If Cleveland can stay disciplined and execute those priorities, run the ball just enough to keep Buffalo honest, protect Shedeur, slow down James Cook, and keep the short passing game humming, they've got a real shot to pull off a shocking upset. A win like this wouldn't just shake up the AFC standings, it would completely flip the story around Shedeur Sanders and this entire Brown season. But even if they come up short, even if Buffalo's experience and depth take over late, Shedeur's already made his statement loud and clear. What he's done through one half of football should end the conversation about whether he belongs at this level. He's out-throwing Josh Allen, one of the NFL's best, and doing it with poise, accuracy, and confidence under relentless pressure. This isn't luck, and it's not smoke and mirrors. It's real high-level quarterback play. Shedeur is showing pure talent, the kind that shines when the situation isn't perfect. He's proving that when the coaching staff actually gives him a fighting chance, he can go toe-to-toe with anybody in the league. The second half will tell us the rest. Can the defense rise up and match his energy? Can the offensive line hold the line for 30 more minutes? And can the coaching staff stay cool and stick to what's working instead of panicking? We're about to find out. But one thing's already certain. Shedeur Sanders just showed the entire NFL that he's for real, and no one's questioning that anymore. At this point, there shouldn't be a shred of doubt left. Shedeur Sanders is the real deal. The arm talent, legit. The decision-making, NFL caliber. The mental toughness to stand toe-to-toe with elite competition, absolutely there. The question is no longer whether he's the answer. It's whether the organization can finally give him the support and structure he deserves. This first-half performance has been electric, and it's proving everything true football heads have been saying about Shedeur from day one. He's got the skills, the poise, and the fire to lead at the next level. It's just about giving him the tools to win. If this halftime breakdown has you as hyped as it should, do me a favor, smash that like button right now. Show some love for what Shedeur's doing out there. Drop your predictions in the comments. Can Cleveland pull off the upset of the year, or will Buffalo's experience and depth take over down the stretch? Let's hear what you think. And don't forget, subscribe and turn on those notifications so you don't miss the full post-game breakdown. We'll be covering every key play, every adjustment, and every wild moment from what's shaping up to be one of the most talked about games of the season. This is the kind of performance that shuts up the doubters and changes narratives. Hit subscribe, like, share it with your crew, and I'll catch you in the next one, because we're watching something special unfold right here in Cleveland.